Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2, part deuce of Call It Like It Is. I'm the man they call Nitro.
And I'm Tyler Wolf. Alright, we're going to get into a few things here. First thing I want to get into is some of the up-and-coming talent that I really see coming up through NXT, and I've shown you some of the matches and everything. Tag team wise, I mean, there is the Authors of Pain, who do have a legendary manager. He's been a manager for a lot of years. His daughter was also in the Mae Young Classic. Mm-hmm. But besides him, everybody knows who I really like the Street Profits. I think that they have a great vibe with the crowd, with their little stir-it-up gestures, the little shaking in the ring kind of dancing gives you that feel of R-Truth mixed with Road Dogg again kind of feel. I mean,
and jive,
right? And I love the fact that I can't think of his name right offhand, but the bigger guy out of the two who does a 360 stinger splash in the corner or on people. I think that you took something that everybody uses so much now, and they refer to it as a stinger splash, and gave it your own twist. I'm good with that. You're heightening the move that's already there. You're giving it your spin. So I definitely look forward to them coming in, and I think them, if they go, I would rather see them on SmackDown because you have the Street Profits, and then you have the gangster version of the Usos.
Yeah.
I think those two teams would do magic together inside of a ring.
If they push them right, yeah.
If they push them right, I think it would be great. As women, division or down there goes, there's only one person that I really see, and it's not taken away from any of the other women. I just don't think that you're there yet. Is Alexa Moon? She's definitely been up there. She brings in that nice eclipse that it's a flipping. She jumps and does a front flip off the top rope and stunners people. I think that's great that you involve not only basically a moonsault hauled off the top rope or a swanton bomb, but you're adding a stunner in to finish it off. We've seen so many people do the neck breaker, like Seth Rollins, where he jumps off and does the neck breaker. She's doing a full-fledged sit-down stunner.
Yeah.
So, and she was one of the very few people that I thought could keep up with Asuka, which I look forward to Asuka showing up on Raw here soon.
I'm excited for that.
Right, because like the saying goes, nobody is ready for Asuka.
No.
And I think Alexa Moon is definitely in that category with Asuka and...
Dude, if Trish ever came back
Oh,
for one more match, Asuka.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Honestly, I would take her in a match with Asuka or Alexa Moon.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be a great matchup either way.
Now, here's the real question. Would you be offended if they went with either Charlotte Flair or with
Natalya? Yes.
Now, why is that? Especially for Natalya, because Natalya is incredibly talented.
Natalya is incredibly talented, but here's my thing. Trish paved the way.
She did.
Natalya, nothing against you. I'm glad that you're getting away from your family's name, but you played off your family's name for years. Whether it was creative or not, I don't care. You played off the name. Charlotte Flair.
It worked for a while.
It worked for a while, just like Charlotte Flair. It worked for a while. But when it comes down to it, you guys, I don't feel would have a great matchup against Trish. Trish was very much more of a risk taker than either one of them two are. When you look at Asuka, Asuka's willing to do whatever it takes to become a champion and stay the fucking champion.
Yeah.
Alexa Moon, no matter how many times you knock her down, she comes at you harder and harder every single time and keeps up pace after pace and adjusts to you. And I'm sorry, Natalya and Charlotte just don't do that for me.
And that's fair. And I didn't mean to single out Charlotte by saying that Natalya is incredibly talented.
No, Charlotte's incredibly talented too.
Yeah.
Some of the other people that I really would like to see come up here soon is definitely Aleister Black.
Mm-hmm.
I think him and Finn Balor would do great in the ring together.
Oh, hell yeah.
I honestly do. I think that's a great fucking matchup that people are dying to see. I don't know if anybody else agrees. If you do, please comment. Finn Balor versus Aleister Black. Because Aleister has this calming, dark mentality to him where he's been through the darkness but sees the light, but he's not wanting to go to the light completely, but he doesn't want to fade out of the darkness either. It's a very unique character.
Yeah.
And the other person, we've seen him in the past in WWE and everything. He is the current NXT champion, Drew McIntyre. I love the fact that he left. He's come back bigger, stronger, better, faster, meaner, more aggression. He's not the 3MB, and I'm glad that people are now separating him away from the 3MB bullshit.
Yeah.
Because, no offense to Heath Slater, we understand that you're a dad and everything, and you went more towards the gimmicky character, and that's what because lately he's been promoting a lot more about being a dad and stuff like that. And I get the fact that you went towards a gimmicky character and everything, but you're going to have the hardest time other than Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre, who went out and got bigger and better and meaner, to separate yourself from that character. Because you were 3MB, and then you were the one-man band, and after Nexus, that's who you were.
I would have really liked to have seen him gone to TNA and seen what they could have done with him, because, I mean, not to keep going back to TNA like I do, but, I mean, they have taken so many guys, as I've said before,
right,
and really taken the, not to sound insulting to these guys, but the WWE rejects. And they have done amazing things with him. I mean, Drew McIntyre is a perfect example.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Kurt Angle was amazing in TNA.
I mean, not to take away from his WWE career, because he was amazing in WWE, too.
Holy shit, the things he did in TNA, the things Mick Foley did in TNA, RVD, so many dudes who came from WWE and went to TNA. Not to say that WWE, rejected Mick Foley or Kurt Angle
RVD or any of that.
Yeah, I mean, WWE has shit on a lot of guys at one point in time or another. But regardless, I'm not saying that's the same way for everybody that went over.
Right.
But, I mean, he could have done that, and he chose not to. So, I mean, kudos to you. You did what you wanted to do. You're doing what you love. That's great. But at the same time,
you're going to have a hard time coming back until you drop down to NXT. I think Jinder Mahal should have dropped down to NXT.
Oh, agreed. And Heath, no disrespect, but don't expect to be like the world champion anytime soon.
No, and that's my thing. And then some of the other people, reverting back to NXT, especially for one of them, Eric Young.
Yeah.
In the Insanity group. I'm looking forward to them coming up as a whole faction together. Faction, yeah, sorry. Coming up together. I don't know what show they would go on, or if they just need to be a floating kind of thing.
Yeah.
But especially like you and me talked earlier, the war game aspect. That EY is going to be in it.
Dude, I had to change my underwear when I heard that was coming back.
That NXT's redoing war games,
yeah.
And honestly, that's great to me, because the last time we really seen war games, it wasn't war games.
Right, and for those of you listening who don't know what war games are, you fucking post-Benoit fans. But anyway.
I refer to you as Jim Cornette does, not post-Benoit fans, but video game fans.
Yeah.
Because you like the aspect of a video game more than you do the actual talent.
I do love video games.
I love video games too, but you and me have been around, and like I said, in the last podcast, I grew up watching Dusty Rhodes and them before WCW was.
Well, I mean, even whenever I do, yeah, I mean,
Sting when he had the blonde hair. I remember watching a few matches before I seen him as blonde-haired surfboard Sting, whether they were replays or not. I'm not sure, but of him and the Ultimate Warriors, the Blade Runners, and
I mean, that's
stuff
why,
like that. I mean,
that's why I only play the older games where you can can't play general manager mode with created wrestlers, and I create a whole roster of original guys that I've created, and then whenever it's the crossover brand matches, I kick the shit out of the other guys.
Right.
So,
I mean, and that's my whole thing. But War Games, if you don't know what it is basically there was 2 Hell in a Cells, 2 rings.
And one giant cage.
Yeah, it's one giant cage, but basically it's the structure of 2 Hell in a Cells and 2 rings, and people literally filled this thing and just beat the holy hell out of each other.
Yeah.
Except for the last one. The last one was terrible, and that goes out to you dumb fuck, Russo.
Brawl for all.
Right, Brawl for all. Woohoo. And if you guys don't know what that is, fucking look it up.
Google that shit.
Right.
Bart Gunn, we're so sorry. Butterbean, you bastard.
Even though I love you, Butterbean. I love
hell
you.
yeah. The best fight you ever had was when you knocked the fuck out of Johnny Knoxville.
Right. But getting away from that, I definitely look forward to seeing what they do with the War Games, especially with EY and Sanity being wrapped in there. Outside of that, going into SmackDown itself, going up to their pay-per-view Hell in a Cell, the Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon thing, I think they've done it decently.
Yeah.
I definitely understand. Kevin Owens, you know my feelings about you. I've said it in previous podcasts where I think that you're a fucking douche. I think that you think that you're better than what you are, and honestly, you're a mediocre fucking talent.
Well, are you pulling for Shane then?
Here's my thing. Shane fought The Undertaker in Hell in a Cell.
Oh, and Jesus Christ.
That's not... But think about... Besides that aspect, think about all the shit that Shane has done inside of a ring.
That's true, but...
And everything... But, honestly, is Kevin Owens going to be able to hit harder than The Undertaker? Is Kevin Owens going to be able to hit harder than Steve Blackman dropping him off the Titantron? Is he going to be able to hit harder than Kurt Angle throwing him over and over and over till he put him through the Titantron?
Here's the thing.
That's my question.
I saw this meme leading up to that WrestleMania that literally sums up my feelings and a lot of people's feelings on the Shane McMahon Undertaker storyline.
Shane didn't need to jump.
Well, here's the thing. We only had a couple more Taker Mania matches.
I agree it was wasted.
Well,
Don't get me wrong.
Here's the thing. It was Shane, and he was talking to Taker, and he said, "Hey, Mark, what you thinking about?" And it was American Badass Taker leaning up against the turnbuckle just with his arms crossed like in deep thought, and he said, "Oh, just wrestling shit." And then there was faded out ghost images of John Cena and Kevin Owens and Finn Balor and AJ fucking Styles and Samoa Joe and, wrestlers, not performers, competitors.
Right. Well, that's my whole thing. Yeah, I know that rubs you wrong, but...
Oh, it was a waste of a final Taker match, man. Get the fuck out, Shane. You don't deserve that.
Right, and I agree. It didn't need to happen, but it did. So, moving past that point,
yeah.
I'm saying, is Kevin Owens really up to those kind of standards? Because Shane has gone against some of the best. Yes, he's not come out the winner, but damn, he's taken a lot of people to the edge and made them take him to the edge and still kept going.
That's
Kevin
true.
Owens is not that person.
No, I can't watch Kurt Angle throw him through that, wrong window over and over again.
Right, because you can hear Shane's skull just...
It's a glorious sound.
But I'm saying, for me, I think Shane takes it.
He does. I don't like giving him props, but I'll give it to him.
And the only reason I think Shane takes it is because I think Kevin Owens needs to be humbled. Kevin Owens needs to shut the fuck up. You're not a Hart. You're not Owen. You're never going to be Brett. Quit trying to be. You're not going to be fucking Jericho. You're not going to be Trish Stratus status. Those are great Canadian wrestlers. You're not up to that fucking level. Stop trying to be.
I forgot Trish was Canadian.
Right. And that's where it's just another McMahon screwing over great Canadian wrestler.
Well, here's the thing.
Get over it.
Well, here's the thing. If that's scripted, if that is scripted, I'm just bro.
Creative. Suck a dick and shut up.
Creative. Kevin, whoever came up with that idea, I'm just
Suck a
like,
dick and shut up.
Yeah, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Kevin Owens.
I like Kevin Owens, but he's not a main eventer.
Not at the moment, but here's the thing: he used to be, because I like the Kevin Owens that marched onto Monday Night Raw with the NXT Championship slung over his shoulder, and then just dropped John Cena like a bad habit, put the NXT title back on his shoulder, and stepped on the WWE title.
Right.
I like that Kevin Owens.
Right, I like that Kevin Owens.
Fuck you, I don't give a shit what you think. I'm KO, get the fuck out of my way.
And it wasn't the WWE title, it was the United States.
Was it?
Yes.
Well, either way, it was Cena's title, and he was just like, I shit bigger than your title, bitch. Get the fuck out of my way.
Right, and I did like that Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens has turned into a Raven. What about Raven? What about me? And I can't stand it. So I think Shane McMahon just needs to knock him back down a few fucking steps and be like, look, I'm not even a fucking fool. I'm not even a wrestler, and I beat the dog shit out of you in a Hell in a Cell. Shut the hell up.
Here's the thing.
Because, honestly, if you put Owens... Let's be honest. If they put Owens over Shane, you're going to get... Well, why don't I have a bigger title shot? Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that?
If he does need to be taken down a peg or two, and I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just kind of on that level where I'm like, how much of this is scripted and how much of this is real?
Right.
And I guess what I personally would like to see, and I probably won't get it because I don't remember the last time I was completely satisfied with what WWE decided to do.
Oh, fuck. Attitude Era? Ruthless Aggression Era, possibly?
No, I mean, honestly, I think the Shield just existing was the last time I was like, oh my god, perfection.
Right.
But whenever they brought AJ Styles in, I was almost like that. But then whenever they brought him in on his first WrestleMania and they put Chris Jericho over AJ Styles can wrestle circles around fucking Chris Jericho.
I won't say he can wrestle circles around Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho's been around for many a years. But I don't think I don't think he should have. I don't think he should have had to put over Chris Jericho. I think Chris Jericho should have put over AJ. But like I said, that's my feelings on it. My prediction is Shane's going to win it.
And I respect that. But if, like I was originally saying, if I got what I really wanted, it would be for it to be pretty much just like the John Cena Roman Reigns thing. Because, I mean, they're already on a, they're on a steady
downward slope.
Yeah, it's just repetitive, where it's just like, oh my
god.
Right,
and like I said, my aspect of it really is the fact that Kevin Owens needs to drop down, stop the what about Raven syndrome, and Shane just needs to do this match and then go back as commissioner and be like, Kevin, I put you where you needed to be. Fucking quit.
Yeah. And, I mean...
And leave it at that.
I've read the rumors about Shane, leaving SmackDown, as a...
And honestly, I don't think that's a good move.
See, whether or not it's a good move will depend on who they're replacing with, if that rumor is true.
Here's my thing. Who are you going to replace him with? Because Mick Foley ain't going to come do it.
Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Stone Cold Steve Austin won't do it. And you know it. Steve Austin would rather hop back in a ring for one more stunner than he would ever want to be a general manager.
I mean, he doesn't have to show up every week. I mean...
Right. It's wishful thinking, but no. And the only reason I say Shane McMahon shouldn't leave SmackDown is because until this stupid fucking shakeup so Raw could have better fucking talent on their fucking show, Shane was beating the dog shit out of Raw. Shane was putting the matches together and everything else. Him and Daniel Bryan put the matches together. Him and Daniel Bryan and had their own set of creative people, and they were drawing more of a crowd than Raw, and heaven forbid that fucking happened. Then they did this shakeup, and they're still competing with Raw on ratings. So I don't think it's a good idea for Shane to leave because honestly, I think Shane needs to stay around and keep SmackDown relevant. Not that I don't think Daniel Bryan can't do it or somebody else can't, but why fix something that's not broken, kind of thing.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, I don't know.
But
There's other people I'd rather see than Shane. I mean, to be honest with you, I would rather watch Hacksaw Jim Duggan every week than Shane.
that's because you're not a Shane fan.
That's true, but
I give Shane credit for things that I've seen him do.
And you know, don't get me wrong, I have enjoyed watching Shane before. When, as much as I thought that they could have done so much more with the DX reunion back in like what was it, 06, 07, something like that. The first big reunion with the Spirit Squad and everything. I thought they could have gone so much farther with it, but at the same time, I'm glad they didn't make them like too main event-ish.
Right.
Because, I mean, the whole thing with Vince and Shane, but I mean, whenever they had the 2-on-3, handicap match in the cell, that was a good match, and Shane was
Doing
really,
some work.
Yeah, he was really good, and I mean, I enjoy watching him, get the fuck beat out of him.
Well,
But I mean, I don't know.
you're right.
He's just another McMahon. God damn it! And I hate the McMahons.
Right. Well, going into a perfect little transition there. Speaking of Spirit Squad, Dolph Ziggler versus Bobby Roode.
Dude, there was a while there. I'm gonna just barely get off topic there, but I'm gonna stay on Dolph Ziggler there. I had this. Well, he's still a really good friend of mine. We used to watch all the pay-per-views at his house, and right before the pay-per-view would start, I would always tweet at Dolph Ziggler, Spirit Squad reunion, and hashtag the pay-per-view. He never tweeted back at me, but I swear, I like to believe he saw every one of them and just got really bummed out. And just like, fuck.
But Kevin Owens and Shane's in a Hell in a Cell, but you got Dolph versus Bobby Roode.
Dude, I'm actually really excited for that.
I'm excited for it too, but why couldn't it have been in a Hell in a Cell?
No, I agree with that, and I would like to take this time to address the fact that it is completely and utterly redundant.
That there's only 2 Hell in a Cell matches.
And not even that, the pay-per-view, the fucking pay-per-view title is Hell in a Cell. Why isn't every single match a Hell in a Cell? I mean, that... It's literally too stupid. Like, I've literally broken a fuse right now. Like, I can't even be mad anymore. It's literally that dumb.
Right.
Like, I can't even right now.
So, before we get into that match too much, who's your prediction? Kevin Owens or Shane McMahon?
See, this is hard because I don't
I'm
know.
taking Shane.
Well, just so I wouldn't feel bad, are you taking Shane out of a biased opinion, or is it just straight up, like, this is what I think is going to happen?
I think it's going to happen.
Okay, well, I guess I'm going to go with Shane, too, then. Because, I mean, I want Kevin Owens to win, personally, and I want him to be like, okay, maybe I need to take it down a notch or two. But, I mean, I would love to see
honestly,
that.
he's not going to be a Roman Reigns.
I know, but how I would like to see the match go, personally, would be Shane to just beat the ever-loving dog shit out of him throughout the whole match, but KO end up winning. Because, I mean...
I'm going to say this. If KO wins, it's because he kicks Shane in the balls. He will do some kind of underhanded tactic to win if he beats Shane.
I hope he doesn't do that, but at the same time, there will be that little voice in the back of my head going, at least you got to see Shane get kicked in the boys. And
right.
I will giggle.
But I'm just saying, if Kevin Owens goes over, it's because he does an underhanded tactic to get it.
Right. And I actually agree with that. So
right.
I'm going to say Shane's probably going to take it, but if KO does, it's going to be dirty.
All right. Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, like I said, we both wish that it would have been in a Hell in a Cell. Yeah. But this is a hard one because Dolph Ziggler is he is talented. I understand where he's coming from with the gimmick thing, and you and me have talked about how with the flashy robes and the overdone entrances and shit like that. I get it, and I respect a lot of these entrances. I understand, and it's to get the crowd more involved. But Dolph has given you things like that before, and you refuse to look at just his talent.
Right.
And so I understand where he's coming from. And Bobby Roode's been one of my favorites, but I can't stand the glorious thing. I think the best time he ever had was in Beer Money with James Storm. Not to take away from his talent inside the ring, I think he's still a great talent, but it's a very hard decision for me because Dolph is trying to become relevant again and point out to people, look, I'm not this gimmick. I'm not going to be a gimmick. Look at what I can do in the ring, because honestly, he is one of the few people that I can say can wrestle circles around 90% of the fucking talent inside the ring.
Yeah, and I agree. Probably his best time was with Beer Money, but I think that we have many years yet to come with
Bobby Roode. Yeah, and I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I just don't think that he needs to go over Dolph at this point.
Not at this point, but I think. This is really hard for me to
It is, because I would love to see Bobby go into more of like the WWE Championship, and maybe Dolph Ziggler move into the US, because I think Dolph and AJ would be a great fucking matchup inside of the ring.
God, Dolph and AJ should have been paired up as a tag team and turning it into a rivalry a long fucking time ago.
Right, but out of these two, like I said, I have great respect for both of them. I think they're both great talents and everything. And I get that people are getting sick of the Dolph Ziggler thing. Well, pay attention to his fucking talent in the ring and stop whining over the fact that at one point he looked like an 80s wrestler, and at one point he was a Spirit Squad. He gave you these gimmicks, and yet he never went... He went over, but he didn't go over like he should have.
If I have to get over the fact that all the fucking belts look the same...
You need to get over the fact that
Right.
Dolph Ziggler doesn't have a huge gimmick and flashy entrance.
Because honestly, like...
They do. The women's belts look the same.
Well,
the Universal looks the only thing that's fucking different is the strap and some colors.
I'm just saying that the thing I bitch about is a lot more relevant than the things that other people bitch about when it comes to Dolph Ziggler. I'm not saying my opinion is more important than yours. I'm just saying that your opinion doesn't matter. So
Right. So, I'm not gonna, like I said, get around too much. I think they're both great talents and everything. This one's, I feel, can go both ways. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Bobby Roode's gonna win it, even though I think he shouldn't.
Is it okay if I just plead no contest to this one? I mean,
I would
really
love to
be
plead
like
no contest to it completely, honestly.
Okay,
but
then I'll pick one.
it is our prediction on.
I'm going to give it to Ziggler.
You're going to give it to Ziggler. Okay, so we're split on that one. I say Bobby Roode's going to go over, even though he shouldn't. We both would like to plead no contest on it, but you're going to go ahead and go with Ziggler.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the both of them deserve a lot more relevancy than what they have.
And they do.
And it's really sad to see how they've both been kind of dicked around, because Dolph, by all rights, should be just main event, just as much as Cena was.
He should. Him and Bobby Roode both are main event talents that are never, I don't feel are ever going to shine the way they should.
Yeah.
But we digress into the next match here. This one we've seen a couple times. I'm glad that they're redoing it, and I love the sneak attack RKO out of nowhere. Randy Orton and Rusev. Rusev. Not Russo. Sorry. Had a brain fart.
Damn, that was insulting to Rusev.
Well, fuck anymore. He might as well be Russo.
I don't know if I go that far.
Come on. I got married to Lana, and I'm giving the key to the city, and this and that. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, it's not the worst recycled gimmick, let's face it. It's not the worst one.
It's a Russo being pulled out of Russo's ass gimmick.
It is on a Russo
level. Yeah, let's be honest. So,
well, here's how I look at Russo gimmicks, because I won't say that Russo only came up with bad ideas. I'd say that
very many good ones.
That's true, but let's say, just to give him a little bit of a good feeling, 1 out of 10 of his ideas. It's really more like 1 out of 25 or 1 out of 35, but just so he feels kind of good. 1 out of 10 of his ideas were good.
Right.
His was, I mean, the Rusev thing that he's had going on is like number 8.
Yeah.
Like where it's like, oh, he's so close to being amazing because Rusev is really a great wrestler. I love watching his matches. He is an amazing heel. He's really, really great. And
yeah, Rusev's good.
The people were so behind him that when Roman Reigns was shoved down our fucking throat.
Right.
Oh my god, that Royal Rumble sucked.
Right.
But I mean, he's really good. And this time, you know what I'm really hoping we see? A match. Like, an actual match.
Right.
That would be really great to see him and Randy, like, have, like, a 30 to 45 minute match instead of just, like,
yeah, you're going to get a 10 to 15 minute match, let's be honest.
I just don't want to see them, like, beat the fuck out of each other all throughout the arena and then just all of a sudden one of them hits their finisher and 1, 2, 3, there it is.
That's probably what it's going to be. But, honestly,
it's just wasting time.
It is.
It's an insult to both their careers.
Oh, yeah, especially to their careers and their talent, because both of them are highly regarded talents inside the ring.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to say Randy Orton's taking this one.
I'm going to go Rusev.
Is there any reason you're going Rusev? And then I'll give my reason why I'm going with Randy.
Because honestly, I think it's anybody's guess at this point. Because whenever you said that it probably will be like really quick out of nowhere thing.
That was kind of my feelings. It's kind of a toss up in the air. I think the RKO is more unpredictable than Rusev's kick and Rusev.
I
think he'll go for the crush, and Randy will just pop up and RKO his ass out of fucking nowhere.
If Twitter were Nazis and had killed Vine when they did, I think that Rusev might have gotten his own like out of nowhere vines, like Randy Orton had his RKO vines. Everybody knows the RKO vines. Fuck you, Twitter.
Right. Okay, we talked about these two earlier on when we were talking about NXT and everything. Natalya and Charlotte Flair for the Women's Championship is also going to be on Hell in a Cell, but not inside the Hell in a Cell.
Man, that shit needs to be in the cell.
It does, because I think both these two they're great wrestlers, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like the name is just overplayed, and the Hart and Flair thing, I think we always wanted to see Ric Flair versus Bret Hart in Hell in a Cell. So I think I think that this would have been our way of being able to see some form of that. But honestly, I give it to Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte, Natalie, not that you're not a great talent, and not that you're Natalia. She goes by Natty a lot.
Oh.
So, not that you're not a great talent or anything, or I think Charlotte's better or anything. I just look at career length-wise. You've been in the WWE for over 10 years now. This is only your second title run. I think that it's great that you had a second title run, but let's be honest, there's so much more women's division moving up that I don't know how much longer she's going to be in the WWE before it's time to hang up the boots. Because she is up in the generation with Mickie James and everything, age-wise and things like that. And let's be honest, most wrestlers about the age of 45, they're gone.
Around in there, yeah.
About 45, 50, they tend to fade out. And Charlotte's still in her early 20s, or mid to late 20s.
She's in her 20s.
She's in her 20s. I honestly feel like Charlotte Flair is the one that is going to take the title and keep going. And that's nothing against Natty, because I think she's a great talent, and I think that she deserves the belt, and I think she deserved the belt a lot more throughout her career. But honestly, Charlotte Flair is where I'm setting my chips on this matchup.
I'm going to go Charlotte as well.
The next thing, before we go too far, is Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura in, well, not in a Hell in a Cell, but the WWE Championship, because Jinder's a bitch.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's the main event of the pay-per-view called Hell in a Cell.
And you don't want to compete inside the cell.
Buddy, you fought in the Punjabi prison match, and
hold on. But that's the Punjabi prison. That is part of his culture.
Man, the Hell in a Cell is the devil's playground. Satan don't discriminate. He wants all your bitch asses.
Right. And that, honestly, I hope Shinsuke knocks the fuck out of you with the Kinshasa.
Dude, oh God.
I hope he takes that knee and drives it through your fucking skull. I can't stand you, and it's not the fact that you're a heel. I can't stand you as a fucking talent. I think that you're talentless. I don't think you're a good wrestler. Never have.
Here's the thing, like, he did get better image-wise, but I'm just like...
But talent-wise, the only thing that you've seen is him do his finisher, couple slams, and, what's this? The Singh brothers. Oh, they're coming out to do this. The Singh brothers. Oh, they're coming out to help him again. Oh, the Singh brothers are getting involved again.
I mean...
To me, right now, you have no talent to hold that belt.
I'm sorry. I feel like since Jinder Mahal pulled the whole joke on Nakamura about race, which wasn't too far. I don't care what anybody says.
No, you and me had covered that the last podcast.
I feel like I've earned the right to say this. Like, you went away for a while and you came back, and yeah, you did beef up. But at this point, I don't know if it's you or creative, but literally, it's just like watching Disney's Aladdin followed by two guys who are trying to sell me off-brand cell phones.
No, Aladdin was followed by two guys. The genie, which would have been cooler than either one of the Singh brothers. So he's out.
He could have been a member of the Blue Man Group.
No. Literally. It's Aladdin followed by Abu and the Magic Carpet.
Yeah. I mean, they don't really talk much anyway.
Right.
It's just so generic. We've seen that I don't know.
You're not the Iron Sheik.
It's literally about as... No, actually, that was better. Back when WWE brought ECW into the picture.
You'll never be Sabu.
Well, no. Like, you remember when I forget if it was it Heyman who had those two bodyguards who followed him around and beat the shit out of people with nightsticks and had the helmets on?
Yes.
Yeah, and then DX finally beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
Because Triple H, oh my God, I'll never forget that. Triple H didn't even cup the sledgehammer. That dude was wearing the helmet and he hit him I'd say 50% force in the face when he was wearing that helmet, knocked it off, and he didn't move.
Like I said, there's not much to say about this. Shinsuke Nakamura, you're a fucking amazing talent. You have been since Japan, and I followed your career for years now, and King of Strong Style, I will give it to you. You are. Jinder Mahal, I don't know what the hell you are. I don't know if you're talented or not, because all I see is the fucking Singh brothers up your ass.
My problem with this match has nothing to do with even any of that. My problem with this rivalry, this match, the whole thing about this embarrassment of a title feud is that it's nothing more than a storyline filled with schoolyard insults and embarrassing career notes.
Exactly.
It's just terrible. Everything that's led up to it. I mean, Nakamura is a true blue badass.
Yes.
After Jinder Mahal. Well, and I even like that. That's pretty cool. But I mean, if you didn't have those two jackasses behind you that are just... It's boring.
Here's the mindset that it puts me in. It's Seth Rollins and Jamie Noble and what's his name all over again.
Oh, Joey Mercury.
Mercury.
They sent the cruiserweights out to get me.
Right, and that's what it feels like to me.
I mean,
it's just boring, stale, overdone.
It's been recycled and recycled and recycled, and it's so just fucking boring. If he came out with
Jinder Mahal, I'm sorry, if you are talented, I'd love to fucking see it, because I haven't seen it because it's always been the Singh brothers. And the one time you didn't have the Singh brothers, Randy Orton beat the dog shit out of you.
If Jinder Mahal didn't have those guys backing up and could back up his shit talk, and came out if he came out at one of the pay-per-views in one of those boxes that servants would carry around royalty in.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if he came out like that with like a big regalia like John Cena's come out, at WrestleMania with, I think that would be really cool. That could make you like a get behind.
Or even do something more towards like the 300 where the guy got carried by all the slaves and he was sitting on the big throne or whatever.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Right, something to that effect.
But yeah, I mean,
and be the modern day Maharaja and not this fucking Maharaja who hides behind two fucking cruiserweights.
Yeah, but then the snowflakes would get all triggered because of that more than they had over the whole "that's too far" thing. I swear
Tell
to
them,
God,
snowflakes, get the fuck out. You don't like WWE and some of the shit that's going on. Turn the fucking channel.
Right, like I mean, that was very
that was moderate to what we're used to.
That was mild.
Right, and you and me have gone over that in the last podcast as well.
Go look up the New Jack incident and then tell me that's too far again. Those were simple words. But my problem with this whole thing is that Nakamura's response to that on Twitter was, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me."
Well,
dude.
Not only that, here's my thing. Nakamura also got his revenge and gave his finishing move to Jinder Mahal and knocked him completely out of the fucking ring.
Right.
The following night. I get that it was childish or whatever, but everything Jinder Mahal said is fucking childish.
And I don't disagree with that, but it's just like... I'm sorry, could you... And I'm not
but
trying
you
to...
gotta think of it this way, too. Nakamura knows how much English? Very little.
I mean, he knows...
He knows enough to get by.
Well...
And that was one of the most common comeback sayings.
I mean, that may be so, but still, I mean...
PG air. That's all I'm going to say. PG air.
He still could have done so much more than that.
Scripted. It's PG air. Scripted.
God damn you, creative, you motherfuckers.
You know half the shit that they say is scripted.
Yeah, but still, I mean, people will get on my case about, like, you can't keep comparing everything to Stone Cold and the Attitude Era. It's not that I'm comparing it to that necessarily. I'm just admitting the fact that these guys have a lot to live up to.
Right.
Could you imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin saying that? Could you imagine The Rock? Could you
Sticks
imagine...
and stones may break my bones, but word never hurt me. Get me a beer. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah, just into the microphone, gets the whole, like, cliche out, and then just turns around and starts giving, like...
Time out. Before you throw me that beer, put a can koozie on it so that way nobody can see the label.
But could you even imagine Test?
Give me a heck yeah, not a hell yeah. We don't do that. It's PG.
Exactly.
I mean,
I couldn't even imagine Gilbert. If Gilbert...
Oh, God. Or Eugene. Oh, my God.
If Eugene had a Twitter account, he wouldn't have even said that. And that's Eugene.
Right. But, alright. So, out of this match, I'm going Shinsuke Nakamura.
Of course I am as well, because this rivalry...
It just needs to die.
It needs to be over, and we need to see, like... when is Night of Champions?
It's never going to happen. A true Night of Champions... A true...
Just hear me out. When is Night of Champions?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's already happened yet this year, but anyway.
Here's my thing. Night of Champions should never happen. It should have been Clash of the Champions, and you should have WWE World Heavyweight title go up against the Universal title.
Oh, and I agree.
It should be a true traditional title versus title.
But it would be really cool to see AJ versus Nakamura again.
Yes and no. I'd rather see AJ work with a few other people.
I mean, I would
Nakamura,
too, but I think they deserve another rematch from New Japan.
Yeah, but so both of us are going Nakamura, but good little transition here. Speaking of AJ himself, I think this match and the following match are probably going to be two that steal the show completely. AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin, United States Championship, who I think should be in a Hell in a Cell, but it's not.
Again, every match should be in the cell.
Right, it should, but
I would love to see what AJ could do in the cell.
Well, I'd love to see. You and me talked about this right before we started this podcast. I think it should be a Hell in a Cell because you have Baron Corbin, who is very rugged, rough around the edges, and very much the power game kind of play. And you have AJ, who's a crossbreed between a power game and a high-flying game.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a great mixture inside of the Hell in a Cell. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that. I think AJ and Baron both are great talents. Baron needs to be kind of brought up a little bit more. I don't think he's gotten enough TV time to really show his talents. It's kind of thing. United States Championship wise, I love the fact that AJ kept the U.S. Open, sort of like John Cena did. I do enjoy that fact because I do believe that these champions should have more of the open challenge. Because, honestly, I'm tired of seeing the same two wrestlers.
I agree. And, I mean, AJ has kept relevancy to that title. But
Right.
I think Baron's going to take it, though.
I don't know. I'm going to go, AJ.
And I hate to go against AJ. I really do.
I'm going to go AJ for the simple fact that I think he's going to keep it because right now they're not moving past Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura. Because Jinder Mahal will still have a rematch clause.
That's true.
So I think AJ is going to take it. AJ will eventually lose at the next coming pay-per-view after Jinder Mahal gets his rematch, or whenever Jinder Mahal gets his rematch, AJ will lose the title, and then it will come up to more of the AJ Styles, and it will be a number one contenders match. If Kevin Owens goes over, it will be a number one contenders match, Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles for number one contendership against Shinsuke Nakamura. And that goes back to the predictability because that's the only way it plays out.
That's true.
Because you're not going to throw Bobby Roode up there yet. You're breeding him to be something, and you want him to be your next blue chip prospect.
Sad but true.
So I'm going to go with AJ's going to take it just because it's not the right time for him to lose it.
Yeah.
Not saying Baron can't carry it, just not the right time for him to carry it.
And I will not be upset if AJ takes it at all.
The next one, you and me had talked a little bit about tag teams and things like that. It's the tag team championships for the first time, which is in a Hell in a Cell in history. First time. New Day versus the Usos. Yeah, I know some people. I hate the Freebird clause just as much as you do with the whole, oh, look, we're in, we're out. It's these two, it's these two. But it does give a nice mix-up. I just wish the Usos had a third person as well, whether it been somebody like Samoa Joe or somebody to that aspect that they could switch in and out with. And maybe done a 6-on-6 tag team match for the tag team championships.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think this one steals the show because Usos, ever since they became more of the gangster style, and they are very aggressive, yes, and the New Day proved how aggressive they could be in the street fight. So I think locking them up in a Hell in a Cell, I look for a lot more action and possibly even some blood spill because they have been using steel chairs and they have been using kendo sticks on each other and things like that. So I look for there to be a lot more impact of a match than we're used to seeing. And maybe raising that bar back up closer to where the Hardys and the Dudleys and them left it.
That would be really cool. I'll tell you what I'd really like to see is since, what's his name? Shad? Or no, it's the other guy.
Chad Gable?
No, it's JTG.
Oh, JTG?
Yeah, who's in New Day. I wish Shad would come out and join the Usos. I thought that Crime Time was a really cool tag team. I thought it was really stupid that they took him off. Like, it's...
Neither one of Crime Time's in New Day.
What?
Neither one of...
Yeah, JTG, who's in New Day. He was in Crime Time.
JTG's not in New Day.
I guarantee you he is. New Day is Big E, Kofi Kingston, and JTG.
No.
Okay, who's the other guy?
New Day is Kofi Kingston, Big E, and
You owe me $1 if I'm right.
Xavier Woods.
Are you sure?
Positive, just looked it up. Xavier Woods.
Oh.
JTG is in Ring of Honor.
I could have sworn it was JTG.
It's either Ring of Honor that he's in or New Japan, one of the two. But, yeah, I mean, Xavier Woods isn't a bad talent. He's kind of a mid-card wrestler, but then you have Big E and you have Kofi. But honestly, when it comes down to it, the Usos... Honestly, New Day took the titles back at the street fight, but I think the Usos were kind of underestimating them. And they were the tag team champions. The Usos were at the time before that match. So I'm going to say the Usos come back out and like, okay, we know you can play hard, but we're going to show you how much harder we can play. Because they're the ones that requested that it's a Hell in a Cell kind of thing. Because because they're like, oh, you can't handle us after the street fight and everything. And New Day's like, well, you talk about the Uso penitentiary. Why don't we go ahead and do this in the Hell in a Cell? And New Day's like, okay. And Usos were like, oh, you guys really want it in the Hell in a Cell? We'll do it. Cool. We're good. So I honestly think Usos will take it back. You'll see this go back and forth till you get some more of the other tag teams up there. Like I said, like Street Profits maybe, or Insanity finally coming up, or the Authors of Pain, and bring some of these other ones up. Because right now, this is just a side note of the kickoff show. You have Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus the Hype Bros. Hype Bros need to be split up. Sorry, nothing against you Zack Ryder or anything, but Mojo needs to break away from you. Mojo's younger. Mojo has more charisma towards the crowd and things, and he really just needs to break away and start focusing more on him being Mojo Riley and not part of the Hype Bros.
I agree.
And Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, you guys are doing good with the tag team. You're trying to work things out, but I honestly think that
Well,
Shelton Benjamin's always been a great wrestler.
He's better than the kickoff show.
He is, but I understand why they did it, because Chad Gable and Jason Jordan were tag team, and then you split them up, and no offense, yeah, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan both are great talent. They are very talented wrestlers, but they see how bad Jason Jordan is struggling to be a single competitor. He struggled in NXT before he became part of Team Alpha. And Chad Gable, it's kind of the same thing. He doesn't do... I don't know how he can do not in a tag team, and why take the chance when you're already struggling creatively to bring one of them up. So I understand why they're doing Shelton Benjamin, because let's be honest, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan felt just like the original Kurt Angle tag teams.
Yeah.
Of Shelton Benjamin and
Charlie
Haas. That, honestly, and that's what it was. It really was.
I wonder whatever happened to Charlie Haas.
He's still around somewhere. Probably backstage somewhere, but...
He's cutting Sabu's cocaine for him.
But, honestly, like I said, with that, we were on New Day and the Usos. I'm going to go with the Usos.
I will also go with the Usos, just because I really, really don't like the New Day.
As far as the kickoff show, I say Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable, because that's more of the push of the tag team, and the Hype Bros have been having issues anyways, and I think they need to split up anyways, so I'm going to go with Shelton and Chad.
I really just don't care.
It's just a side note match.
I guess I'm going to go with Shelton because I like Shelton.
Okay. All right, everybody. Well, we do want to thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, this is Call It Like It Is. My name's Tyler Wolf.
They call me Nitro.
We wish you all a great night. Tune in next time.
Peace!